One of the things that is very core to us is, we care a lot about the relationship between managers and their teams. This is like very Fellow, right? We produce so much content around management and leadership. We produce Super Managers podcast, which by the way is I think like 140 something episodes and has really taken a life of its own. But, as part of this is we care a lot about that relationship, and one-on-one meetings are one of the things that are very, very core to Fellow. Obviously, we have a lot of data these days, right? So many meetings, so many companies use Fellow, and we get access to this data. And one of the things that we were super surprised about, and you were telling me this stuff earlier, I don't know if do you have the stats on hand, some of the things that we learned?
Yeah, so Aiden, it's really interesting to see that leaders and managers are aware that one-on-ones are the most important tool for employee engagement and to build trust between a manager and an employee. And as you said, like we've been able to educate so many of our users through ebooks like The Art of the One-on-One Meeting and the Super Managers podcast. But unfortunately, our data experts found that almost 60% of managers before using Fellow weren't scheduling recurring one-on-ones with their direct reports. So as a team, we really wanted to do something to help those leaders, help those managers build those great relationships by setting up these recurring meetings.
Yeah. And that's crazy, right? Like 60%. I feel like we've been shouting on the rooftops, one-on-ones, recurring meetings
Please
for the
have
one-on-ones.
them.
I mean, this is, but 60% of people don't do it, which means it's ad hoc, right? And if it's ad hoc, you're leaving it up to chance. And that doesn't feel, you need stability in the relationship. And part of the process of like building a high performing team is these are just like some basic elements. So, the first question that you might say is like, oh, 60% of people don't do this, but not at my company. At my company, it's different because I know at my company, we do 100% of the time. So one of the questions that you might ask is, well, is this a problem that we have at our company? And so we wanted to, first of all, give you the tools to monitor the situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this feature to you in two parts.
Cool.
First, I'm going to show you how do we diagnose where we are today? And then I'm going to show you how using Fellow, we can help move the needle and see the diagnostic tools show you exactly that. So this feature that we're calling is basically the series of things we've built around this are recurring one-on-one functionality. So let's go to the meeting analytics section. Again, our meeting analytics section is pretty powerful. So when you click on your profile and you go to analytics, you can see a bunch of different things, but now there's a section called one-on-ones. And when you click on it, let me show you what it looks like. So at first, you get stats across the company, right? So in this particular case, it's our entire workspace. And I can see things like 90% had one-on-ones, how many of them were recurring, what the recurring cadence and length was, how many of them were less than 30 minutes, bi-weekly, or they were monthly. So you can have that kind of data. How many of them had notes? What percentage of them, were notes taken in? How many started with an agenda before the one-on-one started happening, right? How many had notes taken during the one-on-one meeting? And then you can kind of break it down into a bunch of different formats, including the ability to click on any particular manager or department head and see the stats filtered down to that particular part of the organization.
So helpful. I think that those of you in the audience who manage managers, it's such a great way to coach them, right? Into, hey, like, are you having one-on-ones with your team? What can I do to enable that?
Yeah. So super powerful stuff. And you now have this accessible to you. So I think this will give you a hint of how things are going. And then one of the things is, regardless of, you look at we want you to look at the metrics, but in addition, metrics are nice, but unless they're actionable and we give you a way to action them, then, there's still work to be done. So if you go to your home panel, one of the nice things about Fellow is that we have a dedicated section for one-on-ones, as you can see here. And when I click on, you see that our meeting doesn't have this because we have a regular scheduled one-on-one, which is great. These other two have this special icon. So when I click on Brian, for example, in this particular case, you'll notice that in this demo account, we have Brian as my manager, and we do not have a regular scheduled one-on-one. So When I go to that section, it prompts me about that. And I can click on set up now to actually set that up. And it makes it really, really easy. So by default, we give you a biweekly recurring one. And it shows me Brian's schedule, so I can see when he's busy. I don't see the content of his calendar, but I see that he's busy. And it allows me to very easily choose a particular date and time and, save this. And once I save this, it's going to be synced with my Google account. And this is going to allow me to set up that one-on-one recurring meeting and continuously improve the stats there.
Wow. I'm very impressed with how easy that was to set up a recurring one-on-one right in Fellow. And Aiden, I noticed there's on the left, I see it says bi-weekly on Wednesdays. Can you make that weekly? For example, if you're meeting with an employee who recently joined the company, or you want to have a weekly cadence?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the default that we chose, but of course you can change this, make it weekly, make it monthly. Please don't choose annually. But these are the options. And again, it's all about reducing the friction. One of the things that we learned is in order to change behavior, and really what Fellow is as a company, as a product, we're trying to create positive change, right? And when you want to create change, what you need to do is you need to reduce friction, you need to increase motivation, and you need to reduce friction, right? And reducing friction is all about building the steps in the product so people don't have to go out into some external link. You want to create as few clicks as possible, bring it right there. And that's why we built this interface in Fellow to allow you to do this in as few clicks as possible, all right within Fellow.
So helpful. And Aiden, I would love to bring it back to the concept of avoiding meeting overload, because our research shows that when managers schedule one-on-one meetings with their direct reports, they actually save time during the week. And I'll tell you why. Basically, when you don't have a recurring one-on-one with people on your team, they are more likely to interrupt you throughout the week with these ad hoc meetings, or like, hey, can I give you a quick call type of messages. But when direct reports have a scheduled time in their calendar to talk to their manager, they're more likely to write down those talking points in the agenda and then save that time for that conversation. So overall, again, this all links back to the concept of avoiding meeting overload. So if you have those recurring one-on-ones, we guarantee you will save time.
Yeah, I mean, this is another very, very good point. And so yeah, very excited to make this available. And again, you've got the diagnostics, you've got the tools baked into Fellow, and we just want to get to a point where you want to improve your meeting culture, your meeting habits, start to use Fellow, and we'll do all these things for you in the background. And so this is the beginning of many things to come, but I won't tease out those other things coming.